Hey guys, what's going on? It's Casanova or Cass. So today I wanted to talk about a debatable topic. That topic is on assisted suicide or physician-assisted death. Before I get into how I feel about the subject, I'm curious how you guys feel about it before listening to me talk about it. So if you would please comment down below how you feel and why you feel that way about it, that would be fantastic. Now for me personally, I'm for physician-assisted death. For me, it's an ethical problem when it comes down to a person being terminally ill and only has a short amount of time before they pass away. If they want to end their lives quicker, and when they are more conscious and aware, then I see no problem with that. My problem is when they are forced to live in a bed for the remaining time withering away. Now I'm for it, so I looked into why people are against it. I wanted to get another perspective from it. To start off, PAD is the act of definitely ending one's life through the measures of a lethal dose of medication. Religion is mixed in with everything. It would always be around in the workplace, and there is no reason to have any problems with that. Nurses who hold religious views in the medical field say that it is sinful to take one's life. Although these studies have been done in predominantly religious countries, these findings alone don't have enough weight behind them because the studies have shown that it is a 50-50 split between those who can and cannot separate religion when making the decision to accept PAD as a viable option. But it's interesting how religion plays some part in someone's decision. The second issue against PAD that I found was morality, and that was found in the Netherlands where PAD is legal. The Netherlands have the right to die passed. The biggest issue they have is that of the morality when taking the life of another, even if it is legal in the country. As it stands in the Netherlands, a physician cannot, by law, be prosecuted for administering a lethal dose of drugs to end one's life. Another issue is how can we determine the pain the patient is experiencing to become too much that PAD is acceptable? In one's eyes, if they can only see one way out, and that way being death, they can be persuaded to see the beauty in the continuation of living even though they will be suffering in some sort of way. In many people's eyes, it is worse to live out their days in a vegetative state than it is to just take their life when they are able to function properly. Now, another option that I found was called continuous sleep sedation, or known as CS. What this would do is put the patient to sleep until they ultimately pass away. To some degree, this would be a better option if the patient wants more time with their families, but they still aren't going to be awake for their last few days or even weeks of life. Also, in keeping the patient in a CS state, this will rack up their medical bills that are already going through the roof. And most insurance companies, as they are, will not pay for it. This way of living out the rest of their life is an uncertainty path, meaning that the medical staff won't know exactly when that patient will die, nor do the family. So in turn, it's going to be a stress-filled few weeks or days. With PAD, there is the opportunity to get to say goodbye. They are awake and functioning properly. There will be no uncertainty when the time to die is because they get the chance to choose when and where they will die, and who they are with. Now, there's a slippery slope argument. There's two parts to this. The first part entails that if PAD were to be legalized and to some people morally wrong, then other things that are deemed morally wrong will have to be legalized to keep things fair. People see that having the right to die is not a choice to be made by humans themselves. What can and what cannot be deemed a terminal illness is a big question roaming around. What most consider illness is a physical illness, but not determining mental illness. There are other illnesses that affect one another both physically and mentally. The second part to the argument is that of abuse. With this argument that PAD will be abused, there are other things that can be looked at when deciding on not legalizing this. Such things could include how drivers are constantly breaking the laws when they speed, or when they are done with a night out drinking and go to drive home. Here they are driving drunk when it is against the law. The same argument could be made with the use of prescription medication. The medication is only supposed to be used for a specific condition or after surgery, but yet there are millions of prescription pills on the streets in kids' hands. Even with this other look, it can't be concluded that this is why PAD is not legal, because there will be people out there to break the laws that are put in place for people's safety. Depression shows itself when towards the end of life, but people going to the physician to ask for PAD for a non-physical illness may be just depressed, and that is a concern for many of the people who are against PAD. In reality, the physicians put them through the ropes, so to say, meaning they send them to a psychiatric facility for their evaluation on the patient before moving forward with the final decision. These decisions are not made up on the spot. If they can show that they are only depressed, then they will not go through with giving them a lethal dose of medication to end their life. So in conclusion, there are many variables to look at when one is looking at PAD. People have many differences in their mindsets when it comes to the legal right for a person to die with their dignity in place. There are valid arguments with other options. To have a physician prescribe the legal dose of medication to the patient, they too are questionable for how moral they are. Where PAD is legal, there are laws protecting against the abuse of the patient or the legal right to die, such as counseling, being able to back out of it when they want. It's only available to those who have a terminal illness, and the person has to be competent when deciding this option because of the laws put in place. As it stands, there are 5 states that offer PAD as a legal option. These 5 states are Oregon, Washington, Vermont, Montana, and New Mexico. As it stands, New Mexico still has its law, but I found an article stating that it's fighting against it, trying to overturn the legality of PAD in the state. So guys, I did some research and this is what I found. I'm not an expert when going into why or why not something was legalized. This is again just what I found with some research. I know there's more to this subject than what I talked about, and if I had the time I would research this subject further, but sadly I don't. I'm going to get some good, I'm hoping to get some good debate in the comment section below started. If there are things that I missed and you know about it, then please inform me about it. Also, I'm curious as to how people who are religious feel about this. I'm not hating on people who are religious, but seeing as I'm not, I don't know how one would feel about taking another's life, even if they are undoubtedly going to pass away in the end. I'm an open person when it comes to these things, and that's why I want your guys' feedback. It would be beneficial to me and maybe others. Anyways guys, I hope you have a good day, and it's be fun. See ya.
Didn't join up for this. Get your stuff together.